Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in Kentucky, where he lived for 9 years with his father, Thomas Lincoln, and his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, who died in 1818, only a year after the family moved to Indiana. In 1819, Lincoln's father was remarried to Sarah Bush Johnson, who becomes very important for Abraham's education. Sarah Bush Johnson encouraged Abraham to read throughout his childhood. Lincoln read books such as his family Bible and Pilgrim's Progress. Eventually, he was able to receive a formal education throughout 18 months, a few weeks at a time. Lincoln's family moved again 2 times before settling in Coles County, Illinois, where he left at the age of 22 to make his own way in the world. At 6'4", raw-boned and lanky, Lincoln was best known for wielding an axe and splitting wood for fires and fences. Eventually, he made his way to New Salem, where he learned his social skills and storytelling talent. In Salem, he worked many jobs, such as a shopkeeper, a postmaster, and eventually a general store owner. He even spent a short time in the military when the Black Hawk War broke out, where he made several political connections in his short service. In 1834, he was elected to the Illinois State Legislature as a Whig. Around this time, he wanted to become a lawyer and started reading books and teaching himself about the law. In 1837, he moved to Springfield, Illinois, and began to practice with John T. Stewart Law Firm. Shortly after, he met Mary Todd. They were eventually married and had 4 children, with only one boy, Robert, who made it to adulthood. In 1844, Abraham partnered with William Herndon and created their own firm. Lincoln was elected to a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1847 to 49. After this, he returned home to practice law until he ran for president in 1860. While in office, Lincoln placed many of his political rivals in his presidential cabinet. This is where the phrase, "keep your friends close, but your enemies closer," came from. However, the cabinet was a great asset to Lincoln in his presidency, due to the Civil War breaking out shortly after his inauguration. In March 1861, Lincoln was inaugurated, and by early morning of April 12, the guns stationed to protect the Charleston Harbor were ablaze towards Fort Sumter, signaling the start of America's most deadly war, the Civil War. Lincoln acted swiftly. He distributed $2 million from the Treasury of War Materials without getting Congress's approval. He called for 75,000 volunteers into military service without a declaration of war, and he also suspended the writ of habeas corpus. So he arrested and imprisoned those suspected of Confederate sympathizers, all without a warrant. After Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, the war effort gradually improved for the North. On April 9, 1865, 2 years later, Robert Lee, commander of the Virginia Army, surrendered his forces to the Union, and the war was over. Sadly, before any major reunification decisions could be made, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth in 1865.